everybody, welcome back for another video. You can see I have a plethora of things here, and I am going to be doing a daily art challenge during the month of December because I don't have enough to do. No, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to do an art challenge so that way I can make sure that no matter how busy my schedule gets, that I do set aside at least 20 to 30 minutes a day, whether it's early in the day, in the middle of the day, or later in the day, late in the evening, where I can just spend a little bit of time with a little insert that I'm putting together. And yeah, so here are a list of some of the items that you will need. This is just the items that I will be using. You can make this insert with whatever type of paper you have at home. You don't have to run out and buy any special paper. Here is the things that you'll need. You'll need a digital cover or just a piece of cardstock if you have a special color that you want. This is the December cover that you'll get in the standard size, in the standard TN group, and for the VIPs as well, and the passport size. I have it printed in the passport because not knowing how much time I will have I've got a few church concerts and some teaching and end of the semester stuff at the universities that always ends up taking more time than you expect. So that's why I decided I'd make a passport size insert. These videos are going to go up on YouTube. I'm going to put them here on Patreon, but I'm also going to post them on YouTube so that way more people can see them. And I will, if you're seeing this, you will be getting or have already gotten a list of 31 things that I will be drawing throughout the month of December. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have a certain thing for each day, or if they're just going to be 31 things and you can pick and choose. And I think that might be the best way to go because, you know, day one a tree, day two of this, what if you don't feel like drawing an ornament on day 5? Maybe you wanted to draw that on day 2. So that's how I'm thinking about it. So let's first go over the items that you need. You'll need a cover, a digital cover or cardstock. You will need some sort of a paper. I am using, I have this in my stash. It is mixed media paper. It is 5.5 by 8.5, which is a really good size for a passport. Just a little bit of trimming. And it's, 98 pound, 160 GSM. So it will handle, a little bit of watercolor or acrylic paint, depending on what I want to throw on it. So mixed media paper. You'll need either like a bone folder or something to create a crease in your paper when you're folding it, just so it'll stack better. I have the We Are Memory Keepers, let's see right there, We Are Memory Keepers bookbinding kit. And I have this because I'm going to hand stitch it. If you want to use a stapler, you can, bind it whatever method is convenient and easy for you. And you technically don't need one of these. I just happen to have it and I'm going to use it because it makes the job so much easier. You can get these at Michael's, and you can also get them at, I think, maybe Joann's, Hobby Lobby, or Tuesday Morning. I think I got mine at Tuesday Morning, right before COVID started. Let's see. A paper trimmer, if you want to use like the standard paper trimmer. I'll get mine out. Like a Fiskars, paper trimmer, or a cutting mat. And then I have a rotary. This is for cutting fabric. A rotary blade or an X-Acto knife, and either a metal ruler or a metal edged ruler. So you have a good guide. And those are the supplies that you need. So we will get into what you need to do to make the insert in the next segment. Okay, the first thing I did was I ripped out some of the mixed media paper and removed the side that has the squares for this coil binding. And then I folded it in half, every single piece. So you can still see there's that little bit of that's gonna get cut off, so you don't have to worry about that. The next thing that I did was I printed my cover that I'm gonna be using for this insert on a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I cut off some of the excess from the top and the bottom, and I made it almost the same size as the paper. So when I'm cutting down my insert, it'll be a lot easier. But since I'm going to cut this insert down a little bit differently, I'm doing it this way to show everybody that you don't have to have one of those big paper trimmers like I have. So what I'm going to do is I've got a pencil. I'm gonna get some lead out. And see how I've got these crop lines right here? What I'm gonna do is just using a pencil, draw a line, and that will be where I am cutting when I'm ready to cut down this insert. And then we gotta get the two. And actually we only need to do one side, the front, because that's where I will be cutting. There we go. The reason I don't need to do back here is, sorry about that, when I fold this in half, that will be the line, so it'll be cutting in the back. Now, what I'm going to do is my scoreboard. So this is 8.5. So the center is going to be 4 1/4. That should be right. We'll see how my math is. Yeah, that's perfect. And we're gonna use the bone folder, which is just a piece of plastic. This is an old Martha Stewart one that came with that scoring board. Now, I have already done this with all of the paper that I'm putting in the insert. But I have already, as you can see, poked holes. And I've poked 3 holes. And I used my We Are Memory Keepers. You can see how they go all the way through. And when you're stitching, hand stitching an insert, you want to have an odd number of holes. You don't want to have an even number because it can make sometimes binding a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to do is since I've already got the holes done, I don't need this for here. But if you've watched my other video, see, all the holes go through. And there that is. So what we're going to do now is we are going to stitch the insert. Now, what I decided to do for the number of pages is, since it's a 31-day art challenge, I wanted to have like a couple of pages, like for a cover. So the total number of pieces of paper I have are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 times 2 is 18. And then when you double 18, because you've got a front side of the book and a back side of the book, gives you 36. So you get 36 pages. And I think that that is good enough. That way it gives me, you know, like a title page, or something fun to do on the front. And then I can print and paste down the challenge. And then some days if I want to do 2 pages, like maybe in the center, you know, I can do 2 pages, and if I only want to do 1, then I can do 1. So it gives me a lot of freedom, but it also doesn't make the insert too big, if you know what I mean. So now we need our thread and our needle. And I'm just going to use a straight needle because I'm not doing any fancy bookbinding. I'm just doing a very simple stitch. So let me get the thread. This is a waxed thread that came with the bookbinding kit. If you don't have a waxed thread or you don't have thread, you can also use, I'm gonna make sure I have enough. You can use dental floss. You know, those free samples that you sometimes get from the dentist. It's pretty much the same thing. Now, what I like to do, there we go. And since it's waxed, I can kind of twist it and it'll kind of stay together. Now, we have our insert pages and we have our cover. And it's basically like you're creating a figure 8. I'm going in through the center from the inside, and I'm gonna hold a little bit with my thumb back here, and then I'm gonna go in the bottom and it's a lot of paper, so, and I used a thick paper. Sorry if my head gets in the way. There we go. Now, we're gonna go back through the center. So see how we're making a figure 8? And then we're gonna go in through the top of the 3 holes. And I normally don't hand stitch my inserts, but I thought some of you might not have a stapler or a binding system that can now what I'm doing is just trying to tighten it as much as I can. See, we got our 3 holes, And all I'm going to do now is tighten this. Oops. Let's pull that nice and tight. And let's do it one more time. There we go. I'm gonna cut that. And I'm gonna put my needle back in here so I don't lose it. And so one of the animals doesn't get a hold of it. That would not be fun. There we go. I'm gonna put that in here just to keep it safe. So you'll see we have our insert together, and you'll see that we have our lines now, perfect for cutting. So the first line that we're going to cut is this one right here. And then we'll do the top and the bottom. And this is probably the best ruler for the job. You can see through it, so you can line up with the top and the bottom, and you can line up with the side, and it has a metal edge. All I'm taking is my Fiskars paper trimmer. Make sure your fingers are out of the way and with a lot of pressure straight down. And this just takes time. There's no rush. Get it? No rush. And just gently take your time. And the further down you get, because this is going to be a thick insert, the harder it'll be. I should have gotten my larger one out, but this is the one we have, and it's what we're going to use. There we go. So there's that side. Now we're going to do the bottom line, and we're doing the exact same thing. We're just lining it up, making sure we've got lots of pressure, and just take your time. And just keep your fingers away. There we go. And there's the bottom. You can see, nice clean line. And then the last one we have to do is the top. And this will give you a nice, what I sometimes do is we'll line up the line with one of the lines on the mat. So that way it just gives me a little extra insurance. And make sure that your ruler has lots of pressure going down so it doesn't move. Oops, there. go. And you have an insert that is full of mixed media paper that you have printed and hand stitched yourself and cut. And then you do have a little bit of waste. This right here, you have as waste. And if you want to, you can, oh, make sure you put your blade away. If you want to, you can round the corners. I tend to round the corners, especially when I hand cut an insert, because I actually did a really good job with this. I haven't hand cut an insert in a long time, so I wasn't sure, and my blade is really, really, really dull. But what you can see is the insert is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches tall, and the width is 1, 2, 3 and a half, roughly. And so I'm gonna get my Kadomaru Pro corner rounder, and I'm gonna use the medium size quarter round. And it just gives it a little, it makes it look a little bit more professional. Now this is thicker paper, so you probably won't be able to do more than 2 pieces of paper at a time. Let's see, look how nice that looks when you're rounding those corners. We'll speed through this just so you can see it taking place. And there you go. We have an insert. We'll stamp or do some fun art here for the daily December art challenge here on Planning with John. I will be sharing the videos here on YouTube, and I will also be sharing them on Patreon as well. They will be getting them first, and you'll be getting them a day or two later on YouTube, but it will look wonderful. This, for those of you that aren't on Patreon, this is the notebook that I am using for the passport tier on Planning with John. I've got a lined insert where I've just have been keeping track of some stuff. I have right here the 2022 monthly calendar in the passport size, which you can get if you join the passport, the standard or the VIP. You'll get this, and also you'll get a standard size if you join the standard or VIP, so you'll have both available. This is something that we have been doing in the passport tier, daily gratitude. I still need to fill out today's. And then this is from a tutorial that I did, which we will be doing again in the daily December because of I love snowmen. And this was used for other things. And what we will do is we will take out the calendar for next year because we don't need that yet. And we will insert our daily art challenge. So there we are. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below and I will get back with you as soon as I can. I hope this has been helpful, sharing kind of a way that anybody can if they want to make their own insert. You don't need a fancy paper trimmer that, you know, is a couple $100s. All you need is a rotary cutter, which you can get these at the Dollar Tree. Maybe not the Fiskars brand, but you can get them at the Dollar Tree. You can use a box cutter. You can use an X-Acto knife with blade, you know, and a metal ruler or a metal lined ruler. You know, save yourself some money, make your own insert, use your paper that you have, or if you have a favorite paper, use your favorite paper, and you can make yourself, you know, a wonderful calendar if you have a digital, or you know, you can make your own. You know, get crazy and design something that you want, that you'll use, and, you know, have a blast and use my covers from Patreon or design your own. You know, the sky's the limit. You know, don't, you know, just be behind the things that you can get. Have fun, make it personal, make it your own. I think that's the main thing that I want to share, is that, you know, you don't have to have, you know, the most expensive notebook. You don't have to have the most expensive tools. If you just have a little bit of creativity and ingenuity, you know, you can make something really amazing. Like this insert right here. This pad of paper was like $5 on Amazon, and I just used a few pieces of paper. I still have enough. This I designed myself and printed it on a piece of cardstock I had, and used, you know, you could use just dental floss and a needle. You could get that stuff at the Dollar Tree. You don't have to spend a ton of money in order to, you know, have some really great planning tools. Yes, I did put it in an expensive leather cover, but, you know, the insert, every insert in here I've made myself. I made this lined insert. I made this insert you just saw me make. I printed and made this insert. This one is a Midori insert, the sketchbook that I bought many, many years ago that I'm finally using. This one I made myself. It doesn't have to be anything expensive in order for you to have fun and to be creative. So I'll stop there. And like I said, I hope you give this a try. I hope you have fun, and I will see you in the first video for the Planning with John Daily December Art Challenge. Okay, bye.